You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, with the news of Oluwabamise Ayanwola's death still lingering fresh in the minds of Nigerians, more ladies have come out to accuse the alleged suspect, Andrew Nice, of committing and attempting to commit the same atrocity to them. Investigations are ongoing to find out what happened to Bamise on the ill-fated day and other criminals who may have been involved. This incident has left Nigerians more apprehensive on the safety of public transportation system. This is the crux of our next discussion. Joining me now to discuss this issue surrounding Bamise's death is UK solicitor and public affairs analyst, Barrister Femi Aino. It's good to have you join me this morning.
Thank you for
You're welcome.
Yes, thank
Great.
you for the time.
I know you've been around in the country and you've been following this development all the while since it happened up until now. Because of the stories that went round and round, a lot of people got confused. What is really happening here? How did it happen? And all of that. But basically, the truth remains that Bamise is dead, which is very traumatizing and devastating. But getting justice for her now is what everybody is waiting for. Now, what do you make of all of these issues around Bamise's
Yes, before
death?
I respond to that, let me commiserate with the family on national telly. I really, like other Nigerians, understand the pain the family, the parents are going through. And it is my hope, it is my wish, like that of other Nigerians, that this lady's soul rest in perfect peace, so that she will rise in glory on Resurrection Day. But leaving that aside, what we need to do, we can't turn the clock back. She's dead, as you rightly put it. But we owe her a responsibility to make sure that she gets justice, one, and also to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I'm very concerned with the slow pace of the investigation. One, we expect the police and those concerned to move in a very punctilious manner, so that this matter could be dealt with swiftly. And the governor, in a speech, said the Lagos Bus Transit Company must cooperate with the police and what have you. You see, Mike, honestly speaking, those who killed the lady, they know themselves. Forget the driver now. Those charged with responsibility of protecting all of us when we bought a bus bound for anywhere in Lagos State, and they fail in that responsibility, they are the one who actually caught people in this. Because if they have done the right thing, possibly this lady will be here today. But there's something very important that should resonate with every Nigerian about this lady's passing. Despite her ordeal, this is a lady who seems to be apprehensive of her environment. And she did one thing which is very significant. And a lot of people must have learned a lesson from that. When she realized that, look, things are not right. The driver switched up the bus. The driver is not picking passengers along the road. She made contact with her friend that, look, something is not right here. Now, this is the unfortunate aspect. The friend, in her wisdom, said, look, can you alight at another bus stop? Don't get to your destination, which is okay. That's the best she could do in the circumstances. But in other country, when you are concerned about somebody's welfare, there is a number you call. Once you call that number, the police will go around to that address to check. It may well be, your friend is sick, is single, is living alone, he has a lot of medical challenges, and you've been calling the phones persistently since morning, and your friend is not picking the call. What you do, you call the police. The police go around to that address. Once they knock, they don't get an answer. They break the door. From there, they might see that maybe the person has collapsed or something, and the necessary emergency. Now, assuming on that bus, inside that bus, there's a poster that says, if something is not right, or you are apprehensive, or you are in fear, call this number, quote this bus number. Definitely, hopefully, that lady, this young lady will be here with us. But somebody didn't do that. You see, there's a failure of responsibility here. And the Lagos State Ministry of Transport, LAMATA, whatever the meaning of that acronym, the Lagos Bus Transit Company, the Commissioner for Transport, the Managing Director of Lagos Bus Transit, all of them need to take responsibility for this. And it's just unfortunate that this happened in Nigeria. If it's in another country, by now they will have raided their office. And make sure that we get the necessary evidence, because if you listen to the London Senior Counsel Femi Falana over the weekend, he said they should prosecute them for criminal negligence, and I support that, because by now, can you see the level of absurdity here? Number one, you get a situation whereby the personnel file is not even updated, because when the police went to the driver's address, they realized he left that address almost a year ago. So who is the HR person in charge? Why don't you update the record? That is one. Number two, how come there's no CCTV on that bus? That's one. Then two, what happened to the tracking system? And most importantly, when you recruit people of this nation, it may well be you monitor this level of allegation and complaint against them, so that you realize something is not right. And I'm glad in your clip, people are now coming forward to say this driver did this and that to them. And that is the good thing about it, because people are now coming forward, considering the circumstances that led to the death of this young lady. But there is no need messing around here. My own concern is this. Number one, people, you see, I can't really get it right. Why people don't like to take responsibility when things happen. Things will happen, no doubt. But when it happens, the way you deal with it is what matters.
Yeah, but now, when you talk about the issue of taking responsibility,
yes,
there's a list of officers you mentioned here, connected directly or indirectly to the incident. If they have to take responsibility, in what way are they taking responsibility?
Well, I'll tell you, because you see, you don't hide under grammar and get semantic unnecessary ladies and that and what have you. Number one, when this happened, how come the parents of this lady, they didn't move them from that address where they are staying? Because of media intrusion. Number one, if I'm the governor of Lagos State, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select a lawyer who will be representing the interests of the family. The police, how come the police don't have family liaison officer? If this sort of incident happen where I come from and where I've been, there's a family liaison officer that will be liaising between the police and the parents, updating them. This is the level of investigation, this is what we are doing. At the same time, because these things happen in Lagos State, the buck stops with the governor. How come they did not even appoint somebody as a media advisor or advisor, whatever, for the parents? Whereby, okay, take for instance, if the village news approach the mother and ask, what do you want to say about Bamise? No doubt she will be distressed. Yeah. By the time the punch goes there and say, what type of person is Bamise, the mother will be depressed. By the time TVC goes there to interview the mother, but if you appoint a media person, that person will be speaking on behalf of the family. Do you understand? That is what is called taking responsibility. Is all about. We don't need to procrastinate unnecessarily about this. Now that will be there. Then you can even tell the family that, look, listen, you need to move from this address to another place for now until things down because of media intrusion and what have you. But the only thing you are hearing is that, cooperate with the police, we will get justice for her. But what is your own action? It's very important. That means you are taking responsibility for what happened. And again, the sister, the brother, they are the one who has been talking to the media. It's not supposed to be. You see, when you board a bus, when you board an aeroplane, whoever is in charge, they owe us a duty of care. And once they are in breach of that duty of care, they need to take responsibility. Another surprising aspect about this is about public transportation, what have you. They don't even have a critical incident team. The critical incident team, if there's a plane crash today I'm talking about reliable airlines. They have a critical incident team whereby there are bereavement counselors, there are other people, pastors, chief imam, all of them, they will swing into action, try to identify, show some empathy, console you. Some of them have been on behalf of the company. That is what taking responsibility about. And now you're doing this, carrying people from A to B. One day there will be an incident. Forget what happened to Bamise. There might be a serious accident. When that happens, that is when your team will come into place. There is this commission in Lagos State called Lagos State Safety Commission. I think they are the one that went to seal up that event center because of the petrol souvenir. You see, this safety commission, so many people in this country, I can tell you, they only exist in name only. They call them Lagos State Safety Commission. But by the time you get to Alausa there, which is the secretariat, I was there about a few years back. How many of the offices even have a fire extinguisher to start with? And those who have, when was this service last? I work as a security guard in London as an undergraduate student. I work as a porter at King's College Hospital as an undergraduate student. But we've been trained that, look, if you see anything blocking the fire exit, take it from there. If you see anything which is not right, this is how you report. You see, don't just let things go because you don't know what is going to happen. Now, you have a Lagos State Safety Commission. They are supposed to occasionally, unannounced, go to that bus company and say, look, we want to look at your procedure. And also, who is the insurance company that even insure this bus company? That's another thing we need to. When you do insurance, in my office in England years back, every year we are supposed to have insurance before we practice. But there's one important question. They always ask us, can you send us your risk assessment policy? How do you manage risk? Should your passport come into my possession? Do I put it in your file, or we have a safe in your office where we keep it? That is one. The members of the public, when they come in, do we have employer liability insurance? You see, all these little things are very important. And before you can insure this sort of Lagos bus transit company, you need to look at their risk assessment. How do you protect members of the public when they board your bus? What number can they call if they are suspicious of anything? You see, so there are myriad of issues here we need to look at. And now that this has happened, what we need to do, and as part of the taking responsibility, they need to celebrate the life of this lady because the state failure. And because of that failure, that's why she's no longer here. All right.
It's really devastating. But however, we like we said earlier, about two ladies have come forth to say that the accused driver, had an attempted or raped them. They were victims under her. What implication? How does this complicate or compound the case?
Well, it doesn't. It even helps the case because it helps the case in the sense that we will now be able to throw the law, the way we call it, you throw the law book at them. Whatever, every offense is in the law book, you charge the driver with it. And that is the good thing that will come out of this because people are now come forward. And we need to build on that to encourage more people to come forward because there might be people who are still watching because of the stigma. So that is another thing, and that is the good thing that is coming out of these unfortunate circumstances because people are now coming forward and say, look, this driver did this driver sent money to us, having done this, having done that. And the question is that we need to look at this driver personnel file. Has there been a complaint of this nature, or just somebody just took a lackadaisical attitude towards it without carrying out a proper investigation? That is another way to go. But the most important thing, we need to try as much as possible, put a cast iron case against this driver. We don't need a wishy-washy investigation so that, we can get justice for the victim of his act.
All right. Femi Aino, thank you so much for all the insight and broadening our perspective to what should be regarding safety and the protection of lives and property. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yes, thank you for it.
Thank you. Right.